So I still believe like a Jehovah's Witness in a lot of ways. I still believe that I'm going to live forever in the flesh. On Earth, probably a lot of other planets eventually. Not prejudice, I believe that we should all, most people believe that we should all races merge together and all countries merge together. But, they don't practice it. There's a lot of prejudiced people here, and the witnesses are good in that way. They're not prejudiced, they're not nationalistic. I think that's a good thing. I think it's good to view all people of all races and all nationalities as just one group of people. The witnesses have done good in that they've united a group of people around the world under the banner of one kingdom, one government. Of course, they don't actively do anything about that. They're still obedient citizens of other governments. Somehow, even though they believe God's kingdom started ruling in 1914, apparently just nothing's really going to happen. Not until Armageddon, they think. What other ways do I still believe like a Jehovah's Witness? Yeah, I believe that we'll eventually have peace on earth. I believe that all sickness will be eradicated and death. But I guess what makes me different than a witness is that I don't believe that Jehovah God and Jesus Christ are going to do all that for us independently. Just come down and destroy all the wicked people and start curing everybody. I don't believe like that. The way I believe that we'll have peace on earth, and the way I believe that we'll eradicate sickness and death is through science. And spirituality. But I'm going to talk about science first, because so many spiritual people look at science as being at odds with religion or spirituality. I believe that science has led to God's next revelation to mankind. In this video, I'm not really going to talk about evolution and creation. What I'm going to talk about is what's possible because of science right now. And what science is making possible right now is giving sight to the blind, making the mute speak again, raising the dead, and curing ailments, just like Jesus did. We do not have some people claim they have the gifts of the Spirit to be able to cure things, and I believe that's true. But I don't see anybody raising dead people. I don't see anything happening that's really noticeable or really great. I certainly don't see anybody just going and touching somebody and curing their ailments. Not serious ailments like blindness. I don't see that. I see people like Reiki, people into Reiki, and people into some New Age spirituality that slowly heal people using things like that. And I think one day that might burst into something as great as just touching people and curing them. But right now, I think that the being that we call God, or the thing that we call God, or the phenomenon we call God, is wanting us to learn science. He wants us to learn the bare bones of the physical realm, because at this point we need to know that if we're going to make this earth into a quote-unquote paradise. So right now, science has already given sight to the blind. They're working on actual people who are permanently blind. They've made a little progress, but they hadn't quite done that yet. But people who are basically blind, through glasses and contacts, they can see better, way better. And they are virtually blind. I'm one of them. Obviously, I'm wearing glasses. When I take my glasses off, I can barely see across the room. LASIK surgery has cured people's sight to where they don't need glasses, and if you have money, you'll do that. And I don't have a lot of money. Has it made the lame walk again? Not again. Even science has not made the lame walk again completely. We've made bionic legs and stuff. Those are getting better and better. But eventually, yeah, that'll happen. People who have heart attacks, who are good as dead without science, would be dead, because science has allowed us to have medical technology to have bypass surgeries and remove blood clots and such. Do heart transplants. I myself had pancreatitis, and I would definitely have died had it not been for medical science. And of course, you all know science is allowing me to make this video right now, which is a miracle in Jesus' day, to be able to do this, to make an image, make a video, send it across the entire planet. Jesus performed a lot of miracles, but he never did anything like that. It is a modern day miracle. So I guess what I'm trying to say simply is, I believe that if we who kind of still believe these things, we believe that we're never going to die. We believe that the earth one day will be a place of peace and a place of harmony and a place of health when people aren't sick. We need to realize that science is what's going to help us do that, and not view it as something that is some sort of satanic thing that man's trying to play God with. But we need to realize that God gave us this because he wants us to, quote-unquote, play God. Just like he gave Jesus the ability and the authority to raise people from the dead and to remove sin so that people would be able to live forever in the spirit or in the flesh. He's going to give us authority to work along with the invisible forces to remove sickness and death. And that key is science. And so, if you think that science is at odds with the Bible, maybe you need to question the Bible or your interpretation of the Bible. Because if you look into science, you'll realize that many of the things like evolution that you feel are at odds with the Bible, they're pretty much facts. I mean, what they're basing these theories on are facts. And, we had to deal with, Christians had to deal with the fact that the earth is not the center of the universe a long time ago. And many people started saying that the scientists and astronomers who were telling us that were satanic, that they were against the Bible. But they were right. And if the Bible taught that the earth was the center of the universe, then quite frankly the Bible was wrong. But we who still believe in the Bible have said, well, the Bible never really taught that. We changed our interpretation of the Bible. And so that has to happen again. And many Christians have already done that. And many, a lot of scientists believe in the Bible. They just interpret it in such a way as to allow evolution to fit it, to fit into the story. But yeah, I believe that my generation, especially the next generation, will have the option to never die. But to make this a possibility, you have to merge your spirituality with science. And you have to do the great work of making the realities of heaven, the conditions of heaven, express here on earth. And that's something that can be done. So eventually, hopefully, we can divorce science from merely making money and being in cahoots with the government so much, and make it a beautiful endeavor to heal the planet and heal mankind and save mankind from our eventual self-destruction. Anyway, I wanted to share that. I know I said a bunch here about what I believe about the witnesses and such. I'm going to make some more videos about this. I just think it's an important thing to express. It's something I've never really expressed. I've written a little bit about it. It gives me a unique angle to talk to the witnesses about, because I share many of their same beliefs. I just in a way that actually could work. One that's not such a fairy tale. One that's not as horrific. I don't believe that Jehovah is an awful God who's going to come and destroy 8 billion, 9 billion of Earth's inhabitants and only allow 30 million Jehovah's Witnesses to live on this earth. That's no different than Hitler, thinking that he had a master race and had to destroy everybody else. That would be an awful God. That's not a God of love. A God of love who couldn't burn people in hell eternally. Couldn't do that either. I believe, and actually Charles Taze Russell believed this too, that the kingdom is not going to destroy mankind. There's not going to be an Armageddon event where God kills everybody, but instead it's slowly going to heal mankind, and one day they're not even going to know the kingdom's doing it. One day they're going to say, wow, you know, that this was a thing of the Divine One. They'll realize that. Because the truth will stand up to any error. They'll realize that that's really what had been happening. But it's going to come in its physical expression through science. Spirituality as well, that's a whole nother subject, and I'll cover that in another video. And the next video I'm going to make, I want to talk about what makes me believe that science could end aging and death. I know that sounds ridiculous. Most people will say, well, you look around, everything dies. So it's a natural thing. That's just the way things go here on this planet. And it seems that way. But in the next video, I want to talk about a few organisms that actually don't die, that are in existence now. There's some organisms that do not die, and there's some very promising things being done in science right now that holds promise of us ending aging for humans. And we'll talk about that, the implications of that, and how that could be a fulfillment of Bible prophecy and a fulfillment of what the Jehovah's Witnesses have been talking about. Unfortunately, it's something they won't be able to see because of the governing body. Until they can remove the blinders and their creature worship of the governing body, they won't be able to see that. But that is the grand hope. It's being manifested right now. And I want to talk about that. So anyway, thank you.